makes me want to have a bowl. So we drive on and we go from Tenerife, guys, to back to the UK, where an ex-policeman and a soldier, a lifelong soldier, who set up a £336,000 cannabis factory on his farm and protected it with a ring of steel of knives, of rifles, knives, and a crossbow, is after being jailed for nearly 4 years. So this is the case of David Allen, pictured here, and again, like, locking this guy up for almost 4 years. What a joke! Like, he's an elderly man. He's after serving his country in more ways than one. He served as a police officer and a soldier. Now he served a short period as a cop. Is about 4 or 5 years. David Allen actually spent with the force, but he was with the army then for pretty much all his life. That was his job. He served in Northern Ireland, Bosnia, the Gulf, and Afghanistan also. So Afghanistan would have been recently, like, so he would have been in the army up until only recently, I suppose, but in the last maybe 10 or 15 years anyway. But he began growing the cannabis in his retirement on his small holding by a primary school in Cumbria. The farm was guarded by a cache of strategically positioned weapons ready to protect his illegal enterprise. And I love how they say this, like, strategically positioned weapons. But none of the weapons were actually loaded. Like, they failed to mention this. They mention it a bit later on. He mentions it himself actually in court. David Allen, or his attorney, does. But the media are like, you know, strategically positioned weapons. Like the guy probably had a few weapons just stashed in case somebody came in and tried to raid his gaff. Like, also the valuation of it here, like they talk about 7 crops could have been produced during a 140-week period. Like, why are they using a 140-week period? Like, that's so strange. Like, 7 crops, like, what could he do in a year? Like, surely that seems to be a bit more normal, you know? 140-week period. So they basically put a headline where it's 336,000 cannabis factory, but no, it's actually a lot less. So, like, if you divide 336 by 7, you know, you can kind of get your answer. I'll get it there. 336,000 divided by 7. 336,000 divided by 7. Oh man, give me that. 48,000. That's what his farm was worth. That's how much he was growing. So he had 80 cannabis plants inside in his shed. Here's a picture of his cannabis plants. So he had 80 cannabis plants. So the boys are saying 7 crops in 140 weeks is worth 336,000. So the boys just went away and printed that he had a 336,000 cannabis factory because he could produce it in 140 weeks. Like, 140 weeks, like, that's such a strange number for him to go with. Like, so in reality, like, this man got caught with a £48,000 cannabis factory. And that's the picture of it there, like, and it's a nice old setup, in fairness, like, you know. The guy was doing well for himself, so obviously supplementing his pension. But he said he started growing it because he used it for to treat his chronic pain. And I suppose just things got out of hand. He started with one plant, and, you know, he just got addicted to growing it, and he just started growing loads of it, and he was hooking up all his buddies in retirement or something. I don't know, like, maybe he's actually got a load of buddies who are retired from the army who suffer with chronic pain because of the different things they would have been doing in the army, you know, jumping out of airplanes and shit like that. Like, that's not good for your joints. So joints help with the pain. So this individual, he got caught anyway with the cannabis plants, and he was actually trying to make a run for it then as well. So the cops put a stop to that then as well. So they found him having some false passports, and also he had been transferring over almost £500,000 to the Philippines. £425,000 to be precise. Almost £500,000 he had transferred to the Philippines. So maybe he got an old Filipino wife or something like that over there, like, but he was doing good. again, a missed opportunity because of the UK policymakers who keep this illegal. This man served his country and whatever, and you're going to put him in jail now for the next 4 years. And who knows, over the next 4 years, cannabis is probably, hopefully, fingers crossed, guys, get out there and fucking stand up and fight for this, like, peacefully, obviously. But it's up to us, the people, like, to get this over the line and to get people like this man out of prison. He should not be in prison. Like, shouldn't, like, in fairness, like, that's probably somebody's granddad. Like, my granddad's in prison because he was growing a bit of cannabis. Like, I have to go out to prison now to see my granddad. Like, you know, my granddad's probably going to die in prison because he was growing some cannabis. Stop, like, you know, come on, like, end this. Like, it's just foolish. Like, you put a prohibition in place, there's going to be a demand for the product there, so that's going to put the price of the product up, and then there's going to be people fill it for whatever reasons. Maybe this guy was seeing an opportunity just to supplement his income. Maybe the guy just wanted to be a millionaire and he's just seen, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a millionaire before I'm 70. And he just went for it, like, you know, just fucking full steam ahead, like, you know, balls to the wall. But yeah, the waste of time. Send this guy to prison for 4 years over 80 cannabis plants, like, waste of fucking time, like, and it's probably going to be legalized over there probably in the next 4 years. It makes me want to have a bowl.